Welcome to Half a Point, the podcast that saw Gold Coast pull off the upset win, go to Perth and upset the Dockers. We called it here at Half a Point, an insane way to cap off finals week one. This week is our semi-finals best picks episode. We'll each be giving our two best picks against the spread. To help me break it down, I am joined by my co-host, Carlton Superfan. Cast, mate, how have you been after that weekend?
Yeah, it was a good round of footy. Especially the ending of it. Unbelievable. We'll definitely get into it, but yeah.
In today's episode, as you can see, we are joined by another special guest. He came fourth in last year's competition. He's a Geelong superfan. Welcome to Half a Point, Alan.
No, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Yeah, crack around a footy and keen to see what this week brings.
If you're new to the channel, please leave a like on this video and subscribe. We're also active on TikTok, on X, and on Instagram, so give us a follow on those. And also a reminder to please gamble responsibly. All right, guys, let's jump into what was an insane finals week one. Reel off some stats to start off with. Dogs in 3-1 straight up, and against the spread. We had three upsets, I guess technically. Geelong the only favourite that won and covered. Couple trends that were broken. We'll get into that, but we'll start off with the first game. Adelaide Collingwood. We called it here. I think two of us were on Collingwood. You were on Adelaide. Cuss. That's twice in a row that you've been burnt
Yeah.
by picking this Adelaide side as favourites. I think it was we came with the intensity that was required for finals footy, and Adelaide just couldn't handle it. They were sloppy earlier on, and then we went on that crazy run in the third quarter, and then at that point, Adelaide did have a little bit of a heartbeat at the end of the third quarter there, but couldn't get a single goal in the last quarter. So, really just a clinical team. That's why you're going to trust these smart veteran teams on the road in the finals, catching points, especially. The cover was never in doubt. They win outright. Huge pick there. Cass, what do you think about that game? Obviously, you were in Adelaide.
Yeah, on Adelaide, definitely looking back, wrong pick, but you bite the bullet on that one. Yeah, it was an odd start from Adelaide. They sort of just kicked it to no one, and Darcy Moore was just there to clean it up and rebound straight away. And that was pretty much the story of the first half. So yeah, it was just well played from Collingwood, well coached as well.
Alan, who were you on that game?
I was actually on Adelaide as well. I thought they had
Oh,
enough firepower, especially given Collingwood's recent history. I thought, the trend would continue, but yeah, alas, it was the Darcy Moore show down back. It was great, but also you could, I don't know, my watching of the game, you could sense the lack of Isaac Rankin, that little bit of X factor, that little bit of magic, especially in the forward 50. When they had the ball down there, you do miss that spark. So I think big loss for them. But yeah, in hindsight, not the pick, but hindsight's always 2020. So
that's right.
there's that.
Bad start for you, but you had a great Friday night where your boys Geelong got the win outright versus Brisbane. You were on Geelong that game, so great pick. What did you see with that game?
Yeah, I think the McCluggage tag, so Mullen, amazing. I was at the game and I think it was a good reminder of numbers don't tell the full story. I think I was watching the game, could see that the Geelong midfield were on top. You see McCluggage had no influence. He's their sort of outside run. Didn't really see that from their sort of interior mids. And
Mm.
then Holmes and Baz on the other end, more impactful possessions, more of that dash through. I think high half forwards have been good as they were all season. But then I look at the stats at the end of the game. Dunkley, massive numbers. Neil, massive numbers. I think they had another, I forgot who, again, big games from, I think Zorko, but not a lot of damage and saw that in the scoreline. The Reina stuff was a bit of fun as
But
well,
tell us
but
about it. You were
yeah.
at the game. What was the vibe at the game when those two free kicks were paid?
Oh, horrible. Because you saw we were on such a run. Stengel's taken one
Yeah,
and
inside
it
50.
just
Yeah,
dropped into his hands inside 50.
yeah.
And then you just hear like a whistle, like the game just sort of pauses. Everyone's like, what is going on? No one's got a clue. And then the ball's gone all the way to the other end. Bru's just ringing around, all sorts of abuse. I'm sitting at, level three, so I don't know, or like top of the MCG, so I don't know who the abuse is targeted at or who in their right mind reckons it'll be heard. But I've never seen, especially live, a ball go from one end of the 50 from a set shot all the way to the goal square. And then to have that happen twice, and then the replay goes on, it's just a collective groan all over.
Yeah.
If it affected the result or even like made it closer or tense, it would have been uproar. But luckily, we were able to do all right.
Yeah, Cuss, what did you see with that game?
Yeah, I think it was I think it was like all round dominant performance from Geelong. He just like Alan said, just the run and carry with the ball. Really good ball movement. That call was just it's not what you want to see, especially in finals. The umpire they try and take the best umpires of the year. And then if that's what you're gonna dish up, it's unbelievable. Like if you're gonna turn it over, at least do it where the ball is, not, in the goal square. And then yeah, it was very clearly a flop. But yeah, other than that, like little moment, I think it was a pretty good game from a Geelong perspective.
Yeah, I usually try to play devil's advocate and try like defend the umpires when I can, but I cannot this time. That was an atrocious call, especially the first one. The second one was there. The second one's a free kick every day
Yeah,
of the week, I reckon. The first one it was a nudge in the back, it was a push in the back, but I think even by rule, like it's not a forceful enough blow, so you shouldn't award that a free kick. So just it was fun. I would have been really keen to see if you guys did lose that game, just to
Oh
see the
yeah.
press conference with Chris Scott. It would just been hilarious. But Geelong minus the points was definitely the right side. I think even though you guys ended up winning by like what 38, I think the scoreboard flattered Brisbane in the end. You guys were way better than that. Brisbane was definitely the wrong pick there. We just, as in one of those trends, they were 5-0 against the spread as road dogs this year, and we get to the finals and that trend breaks. I feel like it might have been a little bit of a public talk, but yeah, Geelong clearly the better side all day long. Another insane game was the Giants versus the Hawks. Yeah, you thought like I was on the Giants. I said it was the easiest pick of the week. I'll put my hand up, and I did say also like the game was never dead. Like with the Orange Tsunami, you're never dead. And when they took the lead in the fourth quarter, I was like, I might be the smartest guy in the world. Like this is going to be a comeback. They're going to roll right on top of them. They're kicking with the wind. But yeah, Hawthorn able to hold their momentum and somehow kicks goals against the flow and end up winning that game. Full credit to Hawthorn. Cass, what did you see with that game?
yeah, absolutely. Said it perfectly. When in that like the second half of the third quarter, I thought we were on here. I was like, this is gonna be easy. Another three, four goals in the fourth quarter, and then we'd be set. But they just couldn't find that goal. I think they kicked the first one of the quarter, and then they just couldn't find anything after that. A few misses, but yeah, otherwise really good game, really intense, high intensity game. Good like pressure all around. Yeah, it's essentially what you want to see in finals, man. So no complaints from me.
Yeah, Alan, tell us who you were on and then tell us what you saw with the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was on the Giants side as
Yeah.
well. Didn't catch much of the game, but just seeing how the worm sort of pushed ahead, I was like, oh, it was a lot closer than I thought it was. But I don't know. I saw some of the analysis post game, and a lot of blazing away was what I heard from the Giants. So in another week or a few smarter calls, we could have got it, but alas, that's a game. That's
Yeah,
footy.
everyone kept running towards goal when they were like had these runners coming off half back and then they just kept bombing it in 550 and then they just get intercept mark. Like the Giants dominated play in the first
Mm.
quarter. Couldn't hit the scoreboard and then yeah, Hawks over the counter and then they're really accurate in front of goal and then end up pulling away up by 42 at one stage. So yeah, pretty dominant there. Moving on to the final game of the round, Fremantle versus Gold Coast. We called it here at half point. I think I said to throw a little bit on the money line there, but yeah, Gold Coast end up winning by one. Coin flip game in the end. I think the points. I think we're catching like 10.5, so that was never really in doubt. Um, yeah, like you can't really fathom that. Like I think we said last week, this team was 0-4 as road dogs. They hadn't even covered a single game as road dogs, and then lo and behold, we get to the finals and it happens. Just how it works. It's just crazy how this league works sometimes. But Fremantle, even as home favourites, Fremantle were pretty good against top eight sides this year. But again, once they went into that slow brand and then Gold Coast were able to counter, their big guys came to play. Like Humphrey came to play, Ben Long came to play, Anderson Rao were huge. I think they both had more than 30 possessions each. So yeah, insane game. Alan, what did you see with that one?
Yeah, I tuned in at precisely the right times for the
Yeah,
last quarter. Every time I see Mac Andrew clunk one in a clutch situation, I'm always like, is this the best forward in the game?
yeah,
But I think just the whole story of the game was unbelievable. Seeing Swallow, ice the game at the end, unbelievable. Was there a free kick? Who knows? But yeah, I saw the spread and I honestly thought Frio would be the straight up winners. But when I saw the 10.5 spread, I didn't think. I thought that was an easy cover by Gold Coast, hence the pick. But yeah, thankful to get my finals up to 50% for that one.
yeah, yeah. Cass, what did you see with that one? I think you only win a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, only win of the week. But yeah, I don't know how McAndrew found all that space, took an uncontested mark essentially on the chest. How he did that in the last like dying minutes of the game is beyond me. And yeah, like you said, perfect ending to like the story. With Swallow kicking the goal. It was just like yeah, a perfect story. Loved watching the game. I was tuning into the whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah, a great story. This guy should not be playing AFL football. Like he's not up to AFL standard, but a fantastic story. I'm so happy for him. He's not in the best 22, but really awesome to see. Yeah, Mac Andrew, great job equalizing there, and that Yulin Mark on the wing
Hmm.
right before that was huge.
Huge.
So yeah, great,
He's a
great.
gun.
There was a world there when Fremantle coming back where I thought, oh, there's a world where we don't cover here, and they just kicked the last couple of goals there. But yeah, Gold Coast good enough that Mac Andrew really saved us there because I was down by like I think seven, maybe, and
Mm.
then yeah, Mac Andrew kicked that goal, so then we will save after that. But that was finals week one, so really insane start there. As I said, 3-1 dog straight up. So we saw yep, there was a big gap between the top eight and the bottom half of the competition this year, but in that top eight, it was really even. So not really surprised that three dogs won outright there. Um, so Alan, you went 2-2, so you're 63 and 61, 51% against the spread. So you were very competitive last year as well. I think you came fourth last year, and then again this year were really competitive throughout the whole year. How have you assessed your attack on the competition and how you've been going? Like I think these are pretty decent efforts.
Yeah, I think last year surprised me. I think first time going against the spread, I think I started 0-5
You
round
did,
one, so it
you
was
did,
just an
yeah.
uphill battle after that. So pretty happy to get amongst the top four. There this year surprised me a little, especially knowing that I started decently and then stayed within the top two for a bit. It's heartbreaking to see the position slope and me taper off towards the end, but I think I owe a lot to my inherent Geelong bias. It's helped me a lot this season. We'll see if that continues, but yeah, and I think I was on Fremantle during their sort of resurgence as well. So probably a few picks where probably went against a grain, a point of difference, gone my way, helping my position. But yeah, it's been a up and down season again, unfortunately. But yeah, touched on it. 24 rounds is a long time of good consistent picking. Not there yet. So, but pretty good season all around.
Pretty good results there. Cass, you had a bad week, but overall 61-63, right around 500. How'd you judge it? The especially finals week one, especially you had a poor finals last season, and it's
Yeah.
sort of carried on into this year. How are you going to change this up, mate?
I know. I think a bit of the nerves. Yeah. Well, maybe I'm just not built for finals footy, mate. I'm not entirely sure,
You
but
do go for Carlton.
yeah, I do go for Carlton. Carlton let me down all year. It's just a rough year, rough couple years for me. But no, I think just going back to the drawing board. I think I put my bias ahead of me sometimes, and last week it sort of mentally I just didn't want Collingwood to win. But they always find a way. But yeah, I think you just got to take a step back and just make the right pick sometimes.
Yeah, I went 2-2, so I'm up to 73 and 51, 59% against the spread. We say every week pros go 56% against the spread, so we want to be there or above. So good for me this season, but as you said, we don't care about it. We put it behind us. We just want to focus on what's coming up next. So I went 2-2 this week, average week. So I'll try improve on that and try give out 2-0 this week. Let's jump into this week without further ado. Here, huge couple of games, semi-finals. It's always an interesting one. Few stats to break down as well, but we'll start off with Adelaide versus Hawthorn Friday night game at the Adelaide Oval. Last time they played not too long ago, back in round 21, where Adelaide was 16.5 point favourites and ended up winning by 14. So Hawthorn ended up covering that game. Potential ins and outs for this game. We have Cal Shadir out with a hammy, and we have, I think Lewis will be replacing him. And then we have Rochelle that could be an in as well for the Crows. This time around, Adelaide are 2.5 point favourites. Alan, special guest, what's your pick?
Yeah, I've actually hopped on Adelaide -2.5 this week. I do expect it to be a close one. If the spread was a little bit more in Adelaide's favour, then I probably would have gone Hawthorn to cover it. But given how low the spread is, I'm backing Adelaide to bounce back this week.
Pass?
Yeah, give me Adelaide -2.5. I think yeah, looking at Hawthorn a little bit, huge win last week. We saw how intense how intense that last quarter was. When they were back on the road in Adelaide, backs against the wall for Adelaide as well. So they're going to be putting everything out there to make sure that they can secure a win here, and also keeping in mind that this is first versus eighth on the ladder. Adelaide is a much better team. Like we can't forget that just because we're in finals here. So yeah, I think Adelaide do have the upper hand here. But yeah, definitely a backs against the wall situation, whereas like Hawthorn are sort of just playing with free will. So yeah, see how we go there.
Give me Adelaide -2.5. Yeah, I agree with you, boys. I had this no confidence at all. I barely touched it, if I'm being honest. Like, this I think it opened at 3.5. You can find a couple 1.5s out there as well. I think Juice is on the +2.5 here. So, yeah, you find some 1.5s out there as well. But yeah, this is a really tough one. Like, if you're on Hawthorn, like I understand that's fair enough. You're running the hot team. I was not sure about this game, so I'm going to read some stats here. So bear with me, sit back, relax, just listen to these
There we
stats.
go.
So firstly, the Hawks set shot accuracy week against the Giants was crazy. Like they shot really well from outside 40 as well. So low percentage shots, they're winning their way. You're expecting regression. That's here. So then I went out and I was like, let me look at all the teams that went out in straight sets. So in the last 10 years, there have been 9 teams that have gone out in straight sets. 7 out of the 9 teams were dogs in week one and then favorites in week two. And then, so like, for example, like Brisbane this time around, they were dogs week one, they lost, and then they come back home and they're favorites, and then they'd lose again. That's a typical sort of progression. So 7 out of 9 were that. 1 out of those 9, they were dogs the first game, and they were dogs in the semi-final as well. So as a top 14, they were dogs twice. They ended up losing both times. Obviously, they went out in straight sets. I think that was Hawthorn back in 2018. There's only been one time where a team has been favoured both times and have gone out in straight sets, and that's Melbourne, I think in 2022 or 23. I think 23, where they lost to, I think, Sydney and Brisbane. I think 2022 then, yeah. So they lost to Sydney and Brisbane, and they were favoured both times at home. So happened 9 times. It's really rare for teams to be favoured twice and then go out in straight sets. So you might be wondering, okay, a team as favourite, like, and they've lost in the qualifying final. How have they gone? So last 10 years, it's happened 7 times. 5 out of the 7 times, that team was a favourite again in the semi-final. So like Adelaide in this case, and they are 4-1 against the spread. So the only loss again was that Melbourne side. So basically, if a team loses as favourites in the qualifying final, they come back again as favourites. They cover. They tend to cover twice out of those 7 times. They were dogs the next week, and they both won outright. So we saw this with last year with Port Adelaide, where they were favourites versus Geelong in qualifying final. They were dogs versus Hawthorn and ended up winning outright. So this line is trending up. Can this close as Adelaide catching points? Absolutely possible. But we've never seen a team who were favourites twice, other than that one time with Melbourne, lose a game. So looking into the data there, like that's like my main. That's what I'm really hanging my hat on here. Like we don't really see it. You can say, okay, yeah, this year's different with like how equal the top eight is, sure, but I don't know. Like this number's a 2.5 is essentially at a pick. You pretty much just need Adelaide to win outright. So yeah, I'm going with Adelaide as a favourite here, but not going to be shocked if Hawthorn wins. I was on Hawthorn last time when they were catching 16.5. I think this is just a huge overreaction. Yeah, great number here. So yeah, give me Adelaide minus the points. Moving on to the second one here. Brisbane versus Gold Coast. We have the Q clash here. Possible ins and outs. I think Lachie Neale, obviously big out for the Lions. I think McInerney might be coming back in as well, potentially. Last time they played was at People's First. Brisbane were 8.5 point favorites. Gold Coast ended up blowing them out by 66. I think we were both on the Suns. They came cuss. And that was back in round 20. The last time they played at the Gabba, Brisbane were 10.5 point favorites. And Brisbane ended up winning and covering, and they won by 17. I think we're both on the Suns again. They came, lost that one, but won the second one.
Yeah.
This time around, Brisbane are 9.5 point favorites. Alan, where are you going with this one?
Give me Gold Coast to get this one. I don't think they'll win straight up, but I do think they will cover for this one. I think Neil massive out. They do have a powerhouse midfield to Gold Coast. I do think they have enough confidence, enough momentum from last game to keep that going.
Give me Brisbane minus 9.5. Yes, a clashing on this one. I get it, man. Like all the money's been coming on the Suns. This is a chalk public favorite. So I think you're on the professional side, Alan. I'm on the chalk public side, but I just can't get there with this Gold Coast side. I feel like they played the grand final last week. Huge emotional win on the road. We saw the last time they had a huge emotional win against Collingwood at home, that crazy Friday night game. They went over to Adelaide and laid an egg. I get it that this is a final, but I feel like they played the grand final last week. So, yeah, this opened at like 13.5 and it's come all the way down to 9.5. So, a bunch of money coming in on the Suns here. But I just can't see it, man. Like this Gold Coast side, we said last week they were really bad as road dogs. Yep, we got that one last week for Fremantle, but this one, I can't see it. Like this, I feel like the hate's gone too far again with this Brisbane side. Like the stats that I read out again for the Adelaide side, like Brisbane is the candidate. Like they really fit the mold for their team to go out in straight sets. So if it happens, yeah, fair enough. Like I don't think Gold Coast is a bad pick by any means. If I did think that, I'd say it. But yeah, I honestly like at the start, like I was started hammering Brisbane, but then all this money started coming in on the Gold Coast, so it kind of scared me off a little bit. Trying to buy out of my position if I'm being honest, but yeah, not many stats for this one. Like Brisbane, we say we fade them as favourites at the Gabba. But the last three times they've been favourites at the Gabba in a final, they're 3-0. So I think Carlton twice, and then Port Adelaide has won one of them as well. So at the Gabba in finals, you can back this team. 9.5, what is this number? You're not sure. Cass, where are you going with this one?
Yeah, such a tough one, this one. And yeah, a very weird number as well. But I've decided to jump on Gold Coast here. I don't think they'll be able to get the win. I think it'd just be a very close game and Brisbane will be able to pull away. But yeah, I just think, you look at it, definitely a battle of the midfields here. You've got such good midfield lineup at Gold Coast, but then you've also got Neil coming out of that side. Who do you even tag in the Gold Coast midfield? So I think in terms of the midfield battle, they should be able to win it and get those extra inside 50s, and maybe that'll help even out the score a little bit. But yeah, I also get what you mean. Like trying to write off Brisbane here during finals, it's sort of they're just a very dominant team. So I completely understand either side. It's almost like a flip of the coin here, but yeah, I've just decided to just jump on Gold Coast here. Yeah.
Alan, do you not fear that it could be a bit of an emotional letdown for this Gold Coast side?
No, I definitely could. This is all uncharted territory here. But yeah, similar to Cuz, I don't think they have enough in the tank to win outright. But I do see a world where they can keep it close and cover the line. Just that the midfield battle will be interesting. I don't really have a lot of trust in the Gold Coast forward line. Ben Long has been a revelation. Ben King's had a good year, but coming against Brisbane's defense, I don't think they will have enough firepower to ultimately get the job done. But I do see the effect in the midfield, just to keep it close for my sake.
Yeah, fair enough. They don't have any taggers, do they? So I don't know. I don't know if
Mm,
McCluggage gets shut down like he does. But yeah, even Brisbane's forward line is a bit like who do they have? Logan
yeah.
Morris and who else? Cameron's
Yeah.
like he's doing nothing out there. Obviously Wood's out, so like they don't have anyone. They need midfield goals. The Ashcrofts looked pretty lost last week, so yeah, fair enough. As I said, like I don't think it's a bad pick, especially with all the money coming in. I think you guys are on the professional side. I'm on the public chalk side, so I really hate this spot for me. Like I'm on two favorites here. So yeah,
Oh
I guess
shit,
that wraps
true.
it up. Yeah, that wraps up our picks. So I'll go through them. So we're all on Adelaide -2.5, and then you two are on Gold Coast +9.5, and I'm on Brisbane -9.5. So two public chalk sides for me. Who would have ever thought? That's the first time I've ever gone without picking a dog in any of these weeks. Every week I
Yeah.
feel like last year I picked at least one dog. Yeah, not really where I want to be. Obviously, I don't love these picks, but I think coming around, I feel like I'm starting to like the Adelaide one more and more. This Brisbane one, it got down to 8.5. Money's a little bit of money been trickling in back on Brisbane here to put it back up to 9.5. So what I might just do is play some alt lines for Brisbane in case it is such a huge emotional letdown for Gold Coast, and then place on like -40.5, and then see if they can cover that number. Because that's how I'm projecting the game to go. But if I'm dead wrong, then if you want to play some Gold Coast money line, I'm not going to blame you for it, right? So perfect. So it will be crazy, crazy couple finals. Hopefully, it'll be really entertaining. Alan, as our special guest, closing thoughts before we wrap up here.
Yeah, just hoping for a round like last round, really. Two good games. I think the line shows that as well. They're expecting two decent games, and hopefully that's what we get. But either way, whether the fairy tale for Gold Coast continues or yeah, a lot of storylines to be had. I just hope Geelong win the week
Yeah.
after. So, but yeah, should be good. Should be
I mean,
good.
it's shaping up. It could very well be a Collingwood Geelong, Granny. That'd be
Yeah.
insane.
It'd
But we'll get
be.
to that. Yeah, we'll get to that next week. Cass, closing thoughts.
Yeah, same thing, mate. Just want a close contest. Yeah, I think we're going to get it as well. I don't see either of these teams blowing out the other one. But yeah, we'll just wait and see.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Alan, for your special guest appearance. You did a great job. As a reminder, please, everyone, leave a like on this video and subscribe. And until next time, see you later.